Your attendance or the roll call. Will the clerk please tally the attendance? Oh, I'm sorry.
We have 18 present, 2 absent, and 1 vacancy.
Okay. And I believe Commissioner Skinner's on his way back. He was here earlier for a meeting, and I know he is coming back. We have the distinct honor of having a guest with us tonight that I hope you will make welcome. Mr. Terry Strange, who will be the plant manager for Hemlock Semiconductor LLC, is present with us this evening. Mr. Strange, I've asked him to come and talk to you a little bit about Hemlock Semiconductor and what he's going to accomplish in this community. Mr. Strange, he has a presentation and is going to speak.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. If you can flip over for me.
Okay.
I've got a few slides to show you to give you some idea of what's happening with Hemlock Semiconductor. I'll answer any questions you got if I can, as long as the mayor will let me be here and talk. Let me give you a little background on who I am. I'm Terry Strange. My job is the site manager for Hemlock Semiconductor LLC. Our facility in Michigan is Hemlock Semiconductor Corporation, under 2 separate corporations. I am in my 35th year, mostly with Dow Corning, who is a major owner of Hemlock. I've actually been with Hemlock Semiconductor for about 3 months now, because I've spent most of my time with Dow Corning. I am married to a very nice woman named Sue, and she is a Dow Corning employee, as I used to be. We have 2 children. One's named Sarah. Actually, her birthday is today, so she was here this weekend and we celebrated. And it was nice to do that, because most recently we've been in China, and it's a little difficult to do that from that distance. I have a younger daughter named Jennifer. We call her Jenny. She's age 30, and we grew up in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. So coming back here from China feels like we've come home. And the welcome I've received in this community has made me feel like it's home. So thank you. My most recent job was in Zhangjiagang, China. I don't speak much Mandarin, but a little bit if I need to get in a taxi or something. And the job I did there was actually to do exactly the job I'm doing here. Only goodness sakes, it's much easier to do it here in English, I can tell you. I understand that the people sitting here have put a lot into making Hemlock Semiconductor a reality in this community. And as a representative for Hemlock Semiconductor, let me say thank you. You all have taken a step out, you've taken some risk, and we will do everything we can to earn your trust and make sure that you've made the appropriate decisions and that you're proud to have us in this community. If anything should ever happen, please come to me personally, and so that we can talk about it and straighten it out. For the Hemlock Semiconductor here in Clarksville, we've split the job into 2 different pieces. One is a guy named James Russo is doing the design and the construction for the facility out there. Actually, I guess you could say I'm his customer. But he's putting this facility together with my help and my team's help, but mostly with his team's help, so that I can then take the facility and make it work. So my job really is to hire the people, to staff it, to train those people, and then to make sure that all the pieces are come together so that you can actually have an operating system. You know, today if you've been out there, it's dirt. But if you can just imagine all the things that go together for all the computer systems, all the operational systems, all the training, everything that has to happen, it's going to take us a while to put all that together. But it's a lot of fun. Contracts have been awarded. Certainly you know what the state is doing out there now. They're actually about 30 days behind. They were supposed to be done by the end of this month. But they are prioritizing the work so that the finished piece we need in early October and then they move on to the other pieces we need, and everything will be ready at the time we need them. So I don't think there's any issue with this delay. But we're working on 5 contracts currently. The first 4 you see up there have been finalized, and they've been given to companies that are Tennessee-based. And our intention is to do that as much as possible, but also we need to be considering people and the bids and all those things and do that in a legal fashion. So everyone may not be Tennessee-based. And the 5th one, my understanding right now, the storm sewer installation, is the leading bidder at the moment is outside Tennessee, but it's not final yet, so we don't know. So we're in the bidding stage for supply of concrete, gravel, reinforcing steel, and all those things you need to put in piles and build buildings. And our first construction management courses have actually mobilized on the site. We've taken one of the homes that's out there on the site and set it up so that they can use it for their home base while they're going through this project. And it will be about until April or May next year, second quarter, when they'll actually have the construction buildings finished. And when they do, those people will move into it, and also my team, which is currently here in the Green Bank building, will move into it. And my team overall is not very big today. There's 2 of us actually, but it's growing. I have made offers to 4 local people. I have an administrative assistant, which I hope is going to start next Monday. Some of you might know her. Her name is Debbie Cummings. She's had what I've been surprising to me, tremendous backing from various places throughout this community, where people have either given me letters of recommendation or said, you need to hire this girl. She's the one. And actually, I appreciate that, because I'm new to the community and don't know the people. And if responsible people in this community are giving me recommendations, I need to listen. So please do that. I'm hiring 2 Six Sigma black belts. These are basically project leaders, but we use a Six Sigma methodology to try to make sure that what we do is only done one time, so you don't have to go back and redo it again later. And also, I'm hiring a community relations person. I'm sure you can appreciate the need for that. So I've been working on the staffing plan for a little over a month, and at present there's about 785 positions. About 500 and some of those are permanent positions. Some of those I will need to bring in because they have the knowledge and technology to help make this plant work and to train other people. But honestly, I'm trying to keep that to a minimum, partly because those people are expensive and they all have jobs already up in Michigan, but partly because after having done this once, I realized you don't need as much expertise as you think you do. If you've got good people to help you do the training, we've got excellent quality people in this area and other parts of the world. They learn quickly and they learn to apply what they've learned. It's just a matter of going through it in a methodical way so that they can learn it well and then apply it. So about the only issue that I really have out there today is our NPDES permit, which if you're not familiar with those kind of things, it's National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, or it's an environmental permit for water. And the state and we are not in perfect agreement at this point, but I'm very convinced that we will work through that and get to that point. Questions?
Any commissioners have questions of Mr. Strange? You've done an excellent job, haven't you?
I must have. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. We certainly appreciate you coming to give us a little heads up, and we look forward to great things to come with HSC and Montgomery County.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you again.
If I can help in any way, just let me know.
Thank you. Same here. While they're unplugging that before we move to the next order of business, I have 3 cards that we've received. One is from Wanda Hassel, on the death of her husband. We sent some flowers to that service from the commission. I'll leave these up here if you want to come by and look at them. One is from Sylvia Skinner, when her dad passed away, and we sent flowers to there, so that's for that. And then one is for when Charles Powers passed away. So if you want to come up and take proclamations that we want to present this evening, so I'm going to go down to the podium down here. And as you know, we've had 2 people leave us in the last year. So I'm going to start with the one that left us first. I think she's here. I'm going to come forward. We have a proclamation to present to now Judge Elizabeth Rankin, who was County Commissioner, and I'll read this for you. Whereas County Commissioner Elizabeth Rankin was elected to the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners, representing District 1 in 2001, and served through February 9, 2009, for a total of 8 years in Montgomery County Governmental Services as a County Commissioner, before taking her seat as a General Sessions and Juvenile Court Judge for Montgomery County. And whereas Commissioner Rankin served her district and Montgomery County faithfully and diligently and contributed invaluably to the total deliberations of the Board of County Commissioners, having served on the Strategic Planning Ad Hoc Committee, Purchasing Committee, Public Records Commission, Joint Historic Zoning Committee, Land Acquisition Committee, Audit Committee, Regional Historic Zoning Committee, Personnel Advisory Committee, Legislative Liaison Committee, Fire Protection Committee, EMS Committee, and Beer Board. And whereas Commissioner Rankin's departure from the county legislative body will be a loss to the citizens of Montgomery County, and whereas it is appropriate that suitable recognition be made of this citizen who gave so much of herself in service to her community, and we wish her much success in her judicial career. Now therefore, I, Carolyn Bowers, Mayor of Montgomery County, Tennessee, on this 14th day of September 2009, and on behalf of the citizens of Montgomery County, do hereby proclaim appreciation to Commissioner Elizabeth Rankin for 8 years of loyal and dedicated service to Montgomery County government and the Board of Commissioners. Congratulations.
I was so excited about this, and it was so unexpected. Debbie emailed me last week, and I was just thrilled about it. And I just want all of you to know that I really have truly enjoyed working with many of you for the last 8 years, and several of you for the past several years. It has been my privilege, truly, and my pleasure to work with all of you. And thank you again. I am humbled and so excited about this award, and I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
This other one just chose to move off and leave. He didn't become a judge. You want to come forward, Mr. Commissioner Kelly? We appreciate you. We still appreciate you. Whereas County Commissioner Mark Kelly was elected to the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners, representing District 18 in 2002, and served through August 28, 2009, for a total of 7 years in Montgomery County Governmental Services as a County Commissioner. And whereas Commissioner Kelly served his district in Montgomery County faithfully and diligently and contributed invaluably to the total deliberations of the Board of County Commissioners, having served on numerous committees such as the Strategic Planning Ad Hoc Committee, Consolidated Government Study Committee, Land Use Steering Committee, Economic Development Council, School Liaison Committee, Loss Control Committee, Legislative Liaison Committee, did I read that twice? Joint Land Acquisition Committee, Information Systems Committee, Delinquent Tax Sales and Release Committee, Ethics Committee, Audit Committee, Committee on Investment, Nominating Committee, Purchasing Committee, and Residential Development Committee. You just got part of them all. More than once. Whereas Commissioner Kelly's departure from the county's legislative body will be a loss to this body and to the citizens of Montgomery County. And whereas it is appropriate that suitable recognition be made of this individual who gave so much of himself in service to his community, and we wish him well in his future endeavors. Now therefore, I, Carol Bowers, Mayor of Montgomery County, Tennessee, on this 14th day of September 2009, and on behalf of the citizens of Montgomery County, do hereby proclaim appreciation to Commissioner Mark Kelly for 7 years of loyal and dedicated service to Montgomery County government and the Board of Commissioners.
Well, typically, when it's listed twice, that means that I didn't do it right the first time, and they told me to give it for a second opportunity. I, too, am honored to have been a part of the Montgomery County Commission. It has been my privilege to serve with you and to serve the constituents of District 18. I have learned so much through my association with you. And one of the things that I think I learned is that not only are we expected to represent our constituency, but we are to lead our community. And what a great community we live in. When I started this endeavor, I didn't know what I was getting into, in that where our community has gone over the last 7 years has been absolutely phenomenal, and I have come to love this community as the one that I grew up in. So thank you all so much, Mayor. Thanks to your staff and you. Thanks to all of the elected officials that I had the privilege to serve with, and thank you for what it is that you do every day for our community. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you both for your service. We certainly appreciate it. Okay, next I'm going to ask Commissioner Ginger Miles, who is chairperson of the nominating committee, to come forward and assume the chair to preside over the election of the chairperson of the legislative body.
I'd like to call on Commissioner Benny Skinner to give us a report from the nominating committee. Let me see if I can. Okay, I have Commissioner Gibbs' microphone on.
Okay. Thank you. The nominating committee is met, and we placed the name of Carolyn Bowers for chairman of the legislative body for a 1-year term, and that term expires September 2008.
Thank you, Commissioner Skinner. A recommendation, nomination from the nominating committee does not require a second, but do I hear any other nominations? Okay, then all those in favor of Mayor Bowers, please cast your vote. For or against, I guess I should say. Does anybody wish to change their vote? Would the clerk please tally the vote? We have 18 ayes, 0 abstentions, 0 noes. Okay, that motion from the nominating committee carries, and Mayor Bowers is elected as our chairman. So, and I'll turn it back over to her.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope that's confidence you've shown me. I don't know. Hope we have another good year. Thank you very much. Okay, our next order of business this evening is to elect a chairperson pro tem of the legislative body. I'll wait till Commissioner Miles gets back to her seat. Okay, Commissioner Miles, you wish to give us the name on this?
The nominating committee would like to place a nomination, Ed Baggett, nominated for a 1-year term to expire September 2010.
Okay, and as Commissioner Miles said previously, this does not require a second. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Okay, if not, I'll ask yes or no, endorsing Commissioner Ed Baggett for Mayor Pro Tem? Okay. Any commissioner would like to change their vote? Will the clerk please tally the votes?
We have 18 ayes, 1 abstention, 0 noes.
Okay. Congratulations, Commissioner Baggett. You're elected Mayor Pro Tem for the next year. And all the money that goes with that. Okay, next we have the approval of the August 3rd and August 10th, 2009 minutes of the County Commission. I'll entertain a motion to approve. Commissioner Brotman makes a motion to approve, seconded by Commissioner Skinner. Any discussion on the minutes? Commissioners, please cast your vote to approve the minutes of the August 3rd and August 10th commission meetings. Okay, will the clerk please tally the votes?
We have 19 ayes, 0 abstention, 0 noes.
Okay, we have the approval of the minutes. Thank you. All right, next on our agenda, we have a vote on a zoning resolution. We just had one resolution this month. CZ-23-2009. This is application of real property holdings from Ag to C5. I'll entertain a motion to bring this to the floor. Motion is made by Commissioner Harrison, seconded by Commissioner Gannon. Any discussion on this zoning resolution? Question's been called for. Commissioners, please cast your votes on zoning resolution CZ-23-2009. Any commissioner like to change their vote? Will the clerk please tally the votes?
We have 19 ayes, 0 abstention, 0 noes.
Okay. Resolution stands approved. Thank you. All right, next on our agenda this evening, we have the election process for the District 8 Commissioner seats, vacated by Commissioner Kelly. Okay, and let's see, I don't know if all of you have a copy of the rules. Do you have a copy of the rules that we use for this? We need to read them. Debbie, did they have the list? Did they have a copy of the rules? Okay, not tonight. You think they're lengthy, but let's just let Austin go over the highlights for you instead of going over everything. If you have a question now, would be a good time to ask after he goes over that with you, okay?
Okay, I'll just touch briefly on the highlights. Registered voters were allowed to submit their names for consideration prior to this meeting. She's got the list here, so she will read those to you after I go over this. And you could also nominate somebody from the floor if you wish. And then the people that submitted in writing will have to be nominated by somebody from the floor subsequent to that before being considered. We don't have a county member that's legislative body that's running. We'll give you a chance to discuss the nominations after we get all the nominations in, and then each person nominated will get a maximum of 5 minutes to come up here and speak. And as far as the voting goes, you probably remember how this has worked. We'll have to have a majority of the voting quorum, which will be 20, since we have vacancy here tonight, obviously, we're filling. So it will take 11 votes to reach a majority. And the first 5 rounds of voting, we're going to use Robert's Rules of Order. So if we don't get a majority after the first 5, we will have a 6th round of voting. Anyone that gets 0 votes in that 6th round is automatically eliminated. And then we'll have the 7th, 8th, and 9th round. And if we don't get a majority after those 3 rounds, we'll go down to the top 3. Then we'll go 3 more rounds if necessary, go down to the top 2 at that point. And then we get down to the top 2, we'll have 3 more rounds. And if we still can't decide a winner after that, the county mayor will break the tie at that point. That's basically how the procedure works. Yes?
Because we only have 3 applicants, the rule that stated we would go to the top 3, will that be we'll go to the top 2?
Well, yeah, obviously, I guess we would have to do that, yeah. We'll just eliminate them one at a time. If we only end up with 3.
Any other questions from the commission before we move forward? All right, we have 3 names submitted and you probably have copies of their letters, right? Glorietta Baldwin-James, Glenn Demarest, and James P. Doyle. All right, so the floor will now entertain nominations, and these don't require a second, do they? Okay. But a person has to be nominated to be able to speak before you, remember, and to be considered. Okay, Commissioner Jenkins.
Yes, I would like to nominate Glenn Demarest.
Glenn Demarest. Okay, to see another hand. Commissioner Matasak.
I'll make a motion to accept all the other candidates that have applied.
Okay,
All three of them have the applicable chances to speak.
okay, James Doyle and Glorietta Baldwin James. All right, and let's see, okay, Glenn Demarest, where are you, Mr. Demarest? Do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Okay. James Doyle, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, ma'am.
Glorietta Baldwin James, do you accept the nomination?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. All right, now then, you have an option of either discussing the candidates, or we can have them come up and speak for 5 minutes each, and then you can ask questions. And I think the way we did it before is after they spoke, if you had questions while they were up here, you asked. Is that okay? We proceed in that manner? Okay. All right, so let's see. I guess we'll take them alphabetically, which would be Glorietta Baldwin James. Will you please come forward to the podium? And you have 5 minutes to speak on your behalf. Okay. Let me turn the microphone on for you. Okay? Okay.
Ready? Madam Chairman Bowers and County Commissioners, thank you so very much for the time to address the Commission. I am pleased to have the privilege of presenting this evening. First and foremost, it would be an honor, pleasure, and challenge to get the opportunity to complete the term of Commissioner Mark Kelly. However, I intend to do my very best to provide the kinds of services and support he has provided for his constituents of the Clarksville, Montgomery County community. As most of the commissioners know, I have been affiliated with the Montgomery County government since year 2003. And as Commissioner of District 18, I would proudly look forward to the challenge of working closely and cooperatively with all of the commissioners and other elected officials to achieve that common goal. That common goal is to provide the best possible goods and services to the Montgomery County community with the limited resources available. As County Commissioner for District 18, one of my main goals will be to work with the Commission to become more aggressive in public engagement, meaning to get the public more engaged in assisting the county with the decision making, and whereby providing their input to the Commission on the issues and concerns of the Commission in the community in which I live and serve, and to also provide input on the kinds of government initiatives they would strongly support. At times it appears that the community is not engaged in the welfare of this county, especially when it comes to the matter of physical priorities necessary to provide the required goods and services for the Clarksville, Montgomery County community that are often supported by property tax increases. I strongly believe that with more public engagement, their feedback could be a tool used in our budget process, and to get various ideas and options on how to fund the budget without resorting to tax increases, which are often unavoidable with a growing community like ours. Another goal will be in assisting the Commission in their continued efforts of determining if there are other methods of generating revenue in order to further meet the demands of our growing community. To the end, I believe that our community will benefit from and greatly appreciate a budget process that illustrates and articulates the long-term goals of the county. And that is to put forth more efforts to thoroughly communicate and educate the public on the budget process, what goods and services are represented in the budget, and the required revenue to effectively and efficiently provide their most desired goods and services. It is my sincere belief that a process such as this would relieve the anxiety of our community and the commission as we consider ways to more effectively and efficiently use the revenue that we generate and appropriate for Montgomery County government. I would diligently work to make such a process reality if I am appointed to fill the commissioner's vacancy for District 18. Finally, I would be honored to serve the citizens of District 18 as Montgomery County Commissioner because I believe Montgomery County is not only a great place to live, but it is a great place for individuals and families to raise their children. My family and I have had the honor and the opportunity to see Clarksville, Montgomery County area grow in leaps and bounds. And we much so want to continue to contribute to the part of the success of the Commission, continued efforts to keep it a great place to live for all who live in and choose to live in our community. Thank you so very much for your time. May God bless our America and the community of Montgomery County.
We had that. Thank you very much. Okay, any commissioners have questions of Ms., it's hard for me to call her Ms. Baldwin James.
Okay.
Any of you, and do any commissioners have questions of our candidate? Commissioner Skinner.
I have one question. I've heard different conflicting things. Do you plan on still being an employee of Montgomery County if you are elected?
Yes, if I have the opportunity to do so.
Okay, if you have the opportunity, do you still plan on being an employee of Montgomery County? I mean, you're an employee now. Do you still plan on being?
Yes, I do.
That's what-
Yes.
Okay.
I
I heard
do.
somebody say, I heard different things. that you
I know
did.
there were,
Okay.
there were,
Do you need to address that also? Any other
there were
questions?
some concerns. That's when I made that comment the first time.
Commissioner Brodman.
Do you plan to run to fill the seat the next summer?
I did. This is a goal of mine.
Any other questions? Commissioner Albert.
Or did you vote in the last election?
I did.
Good question. Any other questions? See, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, our next candidate is Mr. Glenn Demarest. You will please come forward. And you have 5 minutes as well, Mr. Demarest. We'll wait till you get in position.
I'm Glenn Demarest, and I'd like to take a few minutes to tell you about myself. I've been a resident of Montgomery County, District 18, for about 15 years. I'm a retired Army warrant officer. While I was in the Army, I was a special operations helicopter pilot, where I held a variety of leadership positions, including a platoon leader, executive officer, and various staff positions as well. After retiring from the Army, my family and I chose to settle down here in Clarksville and to continue raising the family. Currently, I'm a defense contractor at Fort Campbell for the 160th. I believe my military background will enable me to represent the needs of the military families of the district. And since I've lived and raised my family in District 18 for 15 years, I believe my experience to represent all the residents of District 18. This will be a new experience for me, and I believe my leadership responsibilities that I've acquired will allow me to contribute to the county and its residents. I won't use the full 5 minutes because my philosophy has normally been to not talk a lot, but listen and think about what's been said and weigh that out. So thank you for considerations. I'll entertain any of your questions.
Any commissioners have questions of Mr. Demarest? Commissioner Hall?
You're a registered voter, you voted in the last election.
Yes, I have.
Any other questions? Mr. Dunn, an excellent job.
All right, thank you.
Our third candidate is Mr. James Doyle. Mr. Doyle, you have 5 minutes, and then you may have some questions.
To tell an Irishman he only has 5 minutes, Madam Mayor, that could be a problem for someone.
I'll let you know in 5 minutes.
I'm sure of that. Anyway, the mayor said, I'm Jim Doyle, and I've lived in the district for 20 years. A retired soldier. When I retired from the Army, I took up working in a drug and alcohol program, and I currently am an instructor in a DUI class. I certainly doubt if I oversee any of you in my class, but it's for people who get arrested for drunk driving. We help them get their driver's licenses back. My interest in running is after 4 years on the city council, one of the things I discovered is when you get into public service, it's difficult to get it out of you. I got it in my system after 4 years on the city council. When the opportunity was presented, when Commissioner Kelly resigned, and I was approached by a couple of people to seek the seat, I thought about it for a while. I discussed it with my #1 advisor, who has been my #1 advisor for 46 years, and she said, if you want to, go ahead. And I said, thank you, ma'am. Because 46 years ago, I learned to say thank you, ma'am, and I managed to stay out of trouble because of it. My interest in the district, first of all, the district out there has 1/3 of the schools in the school system are in that district. Because of the growth of that part of the county, we have 1/3 of the schools out there. Something that I found successful for 4 years on the city council was every month I had ward meetings to find out the temperature of the people in the ward, their concerns, the problems that they may be having. My plan is to continue to do the same thing. If you award me this seat or elect me to this seat this evening, my plan would be certainly every month to have meetings for the folks out in District 18, listen to their concerns, and do my best to help them with whatever problems they may have. A goal I would like to see, certainly with money being available, I would like to see a branch of the library in North Clarksville because of the tremendous growth of that part of the city. Like I said, with 1/3 of the schools in the district out there, a branch of that library out there would be fantastic. I am a very strong advocate of public safety. I grew up in Chicago, and I've always believed in public safety, fire and police protection for our community, but also, along with that, quality of life issues. Making sure we have for the folks in Montgomery County the best that we can give them as far as quality of life issues are concerned, as far as education is concerned, that we give them the best that we possibly have. That's a responsibility that we have to the people that put us here, to give them the best that we possibly can. That's why I'm a very strong supporter of quality of life issues and public safety. I think that for me, serving on this commission as District 18 Commissioner would be a continuation of public life, or public service I should say, and be able to help the folks out there in the district with whatever problems they may have. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Any questions of Mr. Doyle? Commissioner Hall?
Registered voter, did you vote in the last election?
Yeah, I voted for the candidate that lost, but I did vote. Means that I was the candidate.
Any other questions from commissioners? No further questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Moore.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to ask our county clerk, Ms. Kelly Jackson, if she will please come forward. She has the ballots. She and her assistant are going to conduct the election process for us. Pardon? Okay. That's not what you want. You want the document reader? Okay. That's it? There you go.
If you remember the last time we did this process, you have ballots in front of you, and each one of them had a first vote, second vote, etc. on there. You will need to circle the candidate of your choice and sign the bottom of the ballot, and we will come by and pick them up. We will chart them on here and announce what commissioner voted for what candidate. You're ready? You're fast. I thought you were telling me you didn't have any ballots. We have Commissioner John Gannon for Ms. Baldwin James. We have Commissioner Paletti for Ms. Baldwin James. We have Commissioner Baggett for Mr. Demarest. We have Commissioner Skinner for Mr. Demarest. We have Commissioner Gibbs for Mr. Demarest. We have Commissioner Harrison for Mr. Doyle. We have Commissioner Milliken for Ms. Baldwin James. We have Commissioner Sokol for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Genus for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Brockman for Mr. Doyle. Commissioner Creek for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Robards for Mr. Doyle. Commissioner Kendall for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Ederling for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Bryant for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Miles for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner King for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Banasak for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Albert for Mr. Doyle. We have 7 for Ms. Baldwin James, 8 for Mr. Demarest, and 4 for Mr. Doyle.
Okay.
We will have to take a second vote.
Right.
You will please mark your second ballots. We will come by and pick those up. Mayor Bowers, did we want to announce if anybody wanted to change their vote? Would we do that as well?
Or if any candidate wanted to withdraw, and that would be great. Would any candidate like to withdraw at this point, or would any commissioner like to change their vote? Everybody's holding steady.
We have Commissioner Gannon for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Paletti for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Baggett for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Skinner for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Gibbs for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Harrison for Mr. Doyle. Commissioner Milliken for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Sokol for Mr. Demarest. Whoops, I'm sorry. Was Sokol correct?
Right, that's right.
Oh, we're doing this on the other end, right? Excuse me. Commissioner Genus for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Brockman for Mr. Doyle. Commissioner Creek for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Robards for Mr. Doyle. Commissioner Kendall for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Ederling for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Bryant for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Miles for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner King for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Banasak for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Albert for Mr. Doyle. We have 6 votes for Ms. Baldwin James, 9 votes for Mr. Demarest, and 4 votes for Mr. Doyle. We do not have a majority, and we'll have to go to vote.
At this
3.
point, would any candidate like to withdraw, or does any commissioner wish to change their vote? Pardon? I'm sorry. Yes, yes. So commissioners, please cast your ballots again. Have you done that already?
We have Commissioner Gannon for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Paletti for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Baggett for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Skinner for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Gibbs for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Harrison for Mr. Doyle. Commissioner Milliken for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Sokol for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Genus for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Brockman for Mr. Doyle. Commissioner Creek for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Robards for Mr. Doyle. Commissioner Kendall for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Ederling for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner Bryant for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Miles for Mr. Demarest. Commissioner King for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Banasak for Ms. Baldwin James. Commissioner Albert for Mr. Doyle. We have 4 votes for Ms. Baldwin James, 11 for Mr. Demarest, and 4 for Mr. Doyle.
So we have a winner.
We do.
Mr. Demarest has 11 votes, which is a simple majority. So congratulations to Mr. Demarest for being our new commissioner for District 18, and thank you for Ms. Baldwin James and Mr. Dole. We appreciate your application, and I know you decided to be a candidate later. Thank you very much for participation. Now, Mr. Demarest, if you please come forward, and County Clerk, Ms. Kelly Jackson, is going to swear you in with the oath of office so that you may take your seat this evening.
Raise your right hand. I, Glenn Demarest,
I, Glenn Demarest,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will perform with fidelity
that I will perform with fidelity
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
to which I have been elected
to which I have been elected,
and to which I am about to assume on September 14, 2009.
which I have been about to assume on December 14, 2009.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the State of Tennessee
to support the Constitution of the State of Tennessee
and the United States,
and the United States,
and to faithfully perform
faithfully perform
the duties of the office of County Commissioner
the duties of the office of County Commissioner
representing District 18
representing District 18
of Montgomery County, Tennessee.
of Montgomery County, Tennessee.
Commissioner Timbers, you may
You
take
will
your
sign
seat.
up here, sir.
If you sign the appropriate forms.
Mayor Bowers, do you wish to take a seat?
Right, please.
You get to take your seat.
Mayor Bowers,
Yes.
can I request that we take a 5-minute recess so that now Commissioner Harris may be greeted by the commissioners as well as his family?
Okay. Okay, we need to make a motion, have a
I'll make
second.
that in the form of a motion.
A motion's been made. Commissioner King, seconds. Okay, we need to take a vote on it, on whether to take a 5-minute break. Okay, I'm going to ask just for a show of hands. You raise your hand, we're going to take a 5-minute break. I believe that's majority of you. Okay. All right, so we'll reconvene at 5 after 8. Okay, all right. Okay, the next thing we have on our agenda this evening, we have our resolutions. First one is 09-9-1. It's a resolution of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners to transfer reserve fund monies for the Animal Control Department. Do I have a motion to bring this resolution to the floor? A motion made by Commissioner Miles, seconded by Commissioner Kendall. Any discussion? Question's been called for. Commissioners, please cast your votes on resolution 09-9-1. It's to transfer reserve fund monies for the Animal Control Department. Commissioner Milliken. Oh, did you? Okay. Okay, let's just, would any commissioner like to change their vote? Will the clerk please tally the votes?
We have 18 ayes.
Oops, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We have 18 ayes, 1 abstention, 0 noes.
Okay. The resolution stands approved. Thank you. All right, the second resolution on our agenda this evening is 09-9-2. This is a resolution of the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners to amend animal control regulations. Do I have a motion to bring this resolution to the floor? Motion is made by Commissioner Miles, seconded by Commissioner King. Any discussion? Commissioner King. Let's see, you want to grab Mr. Banasak's microphone, please?
Thank you, Mayor Bowers. To clarify the first sentence in E on that resolution, we had some discussion about that last week. I'm not trying to confuse things, but if we could strike the first sentence, direct point chaining and tethering of dogs to a stationary object is prohibited, and insert in its place this: it is prohibited to exclusively restrain a dog or puppy by a fixed point chain or tether. This will be sentence number 2. A fixed point restraint may be used temporarily, but not to exceed 1 hour in a 24-hour period. I'd like to
Okay, all
insert
right.
those two
Okay,
sentences.
one more time. It is prohibited to restrain a dog or a puppy by a fixed point. Is that what you said?
Fixed point chain or tether.
Chain or tether.
And then the second sentence would be: a fixed point restraint may be used temporarily, but not to exceed 1 hour in a 24-hour period. It's just to kind of change the wording a little bit. It's not changing anything at all other than the way it's said.
Okay, but not to exceed what, 24?
Not to exceed 1 hour in a 24-hour period.
All right, I'm not sure I got this. It is prohibited to restrain a dog or a puppy by a fixed point tether or chain. Okay, a fixed point restraint may be used temporarily, but not to exceed 1 hour in a 24-hour period. Okay. So the change in this would be that it would allow fixed point chaining to continue. Is that correct? Now, what you're saying is prohibited to tether and chain.
Right, it's nothing, it'll be prohibited. It is prohibited to exclusively restrain a dog.
Exclusively.
Or a puppy by fixed point chain or tether.
A fixed point chain or tether. A fixed point chain.
Point restraint may be used temporarily, but not to exceed 1 hour and 24 hours. They were talking about the fixed point, not the
Okay, I
slide.
got you. Okay, all right. Okay, any questions about that? You put that in the form of a motion or amendment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right. Okay, so Commissioner King makes a motion to amend, and seconded by Commissioner Bansack. Okay, let me read that again. So, he wanted to change E to read, it is prohibited to exclusively restrain a dog or puppy by a fixed point tether, fixed point chain or tether. A fixed point restraint may be used temporarily, but not to exceed 1 hour in a 24-hour period. Okay, that's the amendment to the resolution. And we have a motion and a second. So, any further discussion pertaining to the amendment to the resolution? You ready for the vote? Does somebody else have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, Commissioner Everly, does this pertain to the amendment?
No, it does not.
Okay, right now our discussion is limited to the amendment, and we'll come back to you later. Commissioner Banaszak?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Mike, I have a comment and a question. Last week, there was some discussion about taking the word prohibit out of here, and I just want to voice my opinion that I respectfully disagree with that, Commissioner. I think the word prohibit needs to make sure it stays in this amendment, that it prohibits it, so that there's oomph behind this regulation that we're doing. But my question is this. We were given a picture last week. This is not a tether. This is a fixed point tether.
That's a run.
This is a run. This is not a tether. Okay.
We want to go to.
The reason I'm asking is this is labeled as a tether providing max space available. So this is ideal. This is what you're looking for. Okay. But you're wanting to prohibit them being chained to the ground. Okay.
Okay,
I didn't try to confuse things. I was just trying to.
Commissioner Kendall, you have a comment related to the amendment?
I just want to know.
Will you give the microphone to her, please, Commissioner Everly?
Keep it low.
I want to understand, this fixed thing is not that chain running up and down.
Is that correct, Commissioner Keaton? I'm not certain of the way to describe it. So
That's
this,
correct. Maybe we get David Selby to describe this out.
okay, Commissioner Keaton.
Selby to answer that for you.
I want to know if that thing we saw last week on, that is not prohibited.
That's
Okay, Mr. Selby, you will come forward, please, and answer some of these questions, because I'm not sure I'm the most qualified to answer.
Basically, what we're trying to do, because of the discretion on the direct point chain being prohibited, that's why we were changing that sentence out. That doesn't affect any of the rest of the proposed resolution. What we're trying to do is, like Commissioner Robarge said, if somebody comes to work on your house, you have to move your dog out of his cable run or his runner cable, where it's in between the 2 points where he has the maximum distance, that he's going to be chained out to a fixed point, or somebody allows your dog to go out to the bathroom on a temporary basis. You know, they're not going to have to set up this elite system, you know, as far as the cable run. They can put it out on a temporary basis.
So what you're saying is,
I believe it says it's on up here. You may have to bend it down closer to you. Have you got it real close?
what you're saying is that chain is okay.
Yes, ma'am, that's what we're wanting. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Either the cable run system or the tethering system between 2 points, instead of the fixed point where it's like just chain, right here and he can't go anywhere, but just right on this one location, like to a tree or to a post, without meeting the other conditions that were in the original resolution.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Paletti, does your question relate to the amendment? Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to ask, I'm assuming that this amendment has the support of the Animal Control Committee, your department, and the Humane Society.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We were trying to identify the original sentence where we were going to do the issue with whether, we're going to allow sometimes, the comments came up last time in the informal session about if we said prohibited, that means, the person just lets it go out to the bathroom on a runner cable attached to their banister for 10 or 15 minutes, then we saw it, then we would have to supply it because they're in violation of the law. So that's what we were trying to address.
And you're okay with this?
Yes, sir. That's why we added it exclusively, and like the county attorney said, the reasonable clause is what we're looking at. And that's why the wording was rearranged.
I have another comment or question from Commissioner Madison. Does this relate to the amendment?
It does. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Isn't that correct, Commissioner? You said yours didn't relate to the amendment. Okay.
Just make sure, what's the difference between fixed point chaining and fixed point tethering? It's obviously on a fixed point, but what's the difference?
Well, your tether system is like basically on 2 points, or it can be on the 1 point, but it has to have the swivel. Is that what the intent was?
Continuing tethering is the same thing.
So,
That's
this is not a tethering system, this is a cable run.
Just a cable run system.
It's still, they're still tethered.
Well,
Tethered to a cable.
Defined.
What we're looking at is instead of being tied to a tree, where he can't go anywhere, he's got some freedom of movement, is what we're looking at.
Right, so on down in that paragraph E, it says, they may be restrained by means of a trolley system or tether attached to a pulley cable run. That is this. This amendment says it's strictly prohibited for a fixed 1 point, whether it's a tether with a swivel thing or a chain.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Commissioner Robards, is your question related to this amendment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you. How can we prohibit on one sentence and allow in the next? Prohibit is a very strong word, which Mark Mansack has mentioned. But how can you prohibit in one sentence and allow in the next? You can't do it. You can't say, I prohibit you from doing this. Now, in 1 hour and a 24-hour period, so if the service guy's there an hour and 30 minutes, they're violating the law.
Well, we went on the reasonable standard, which is exclusively. We understand.
But we can't go on and understand.
Well, yes, Commissioner Ward, I understand. That's why we deleted the prohibited, because of the issues from last week, and we were trying to get something that would be in agreement with potentially pass. And exclusively, was the reasonable standard aspect that we were looking at. And then the fixed point restraint may be used temporarily, and, we just came up with an hour, because that was a reasonable amount of time in a 24-hour period.
Which it is, and I agree, but it could be more than an hour with service guys there. I'm just not comfortable putting a law on the books or an amendment to a law that's not going to be unenforceable. You
Yes.
can't say, well, my dog's been out here 59 minutes, or my dog's been out here an hour and 30 minutes, but the air conditioning guy just left. It's got to have some common sense to it. And I know what we're trying to do, and it makes great sense. But 1 hour and a 24-hour period might not be long enough. What if the dog has a problem and didn't eat something that was good on him and he has to use the bathroom a lot? He's violated that law now because they have to go out and use the bathroom more than an hour and a 24-hour period. So we're putting a law in the book that someone's going to constantly break, that could possibly break. On the amendment. I'm sorry. Is there any way we can reword that also?
Well, the recommendation I had last week was to leave what's in there and put, right after E, put unreasonable direct point chaining is prohibited, and And that would leave the discretion to his department to decide, but then there's no standard.
Because, and this is towards the amendment, Mayor, if I can stop, please. We have a cruelty to animals section in our regulation that we voted for back in 2005 to 2007. On that, in which example you gave us here, it says, we as citizens cannot engage in any act to cause any unnecessary pain or suffering to an animal. Now, I received an email, and I imagine pretty much y'all have too this week, on a dog that was named Kate, a German Shepherd. Trey. With that cruelty to animals section, don't that give us the teeth that we need? If you go out and see a dog like Trey that's sitting in a mud hole with his hair gone and everything, that's cruelty, isn't it?
That's correct.
And so, because the dog was chained there. There's our bite in our regulation. We don't need to put regulations in place, and it be with animal control, it be with the sheriff's department, any department, that we cannot religiously get out there and enforce. It is my thing about this. So I think if you look at the cruelty to animals, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I think that.
But when you go and chain the dog out, if the dog has adequate food, water, and shelter, and he's healthy, and his rabies vaccination is up to date, there's nothing we can do about it.
And the other thing is, and we got to think about a 360-degree turn. They could put a chain on this dog, put him around a tree, make it loose, he can run around at 360. And what have we accomplished? If as a homeowner, you come up to my land, sir, it says 360-degree, roller run around that tree, boom, boom, he goes. You know, we haven't accomplished anything. We still got a dog chained to a tree.
Okay. Commissioner Harris. This relates to the amendment.
Yes, Mayor, thank you.
Oh,
Mr.
I'm
Selby?
sorry, hold on. I lost your button.
Mr. Selby, just a quick question. How many dogs do you estimate countywide right now are either chained or roped to a fixed site location? Would you say half of them?
I'll venture to say over half of them.
Over half of them.
Over half.
Thank you.
Commissioner Miles, do you have a question?
Well, I just wanted to point out, thank you, Mayor Bauer, that the reason that I think the word exclusively was put into this amendment is prohibited to exclusively restrain a dog in that manner. I took that to mean that that's the only provision that you have made. You have a dog and you have made no provision except to chain him out. I don't know if I've interpreted that right, but that takes care of part of what Commissioner Robards was objecting to. That because it has the word exclusive, the word prohibit means that you've prohibited somebody from having that as the only provision they've made. And you go on to say that you may use this other, you may put them temporarily for an hour. I thought maybe he didn't know the word exclusive.
Okay. Any other statements or comments or questions related to the amendment? Okay. Question's been called for, and this vote will be on the amendment, and it's in section E to have that changed to read. It is prohibited to exclusively restrain a dog or puppy by a fixed point chain or tether, period. A fixed point restraint may be used temporarily, but not to exceed 1 hour in a 24-hour period. Okay, question's been called for. Commissioners, please cast your votes on the amendment to this resolution. Would any commissioner like to change their vote? Will the clerk please tally the votes?
We have 10 ayes, 1 abstention, 8 noes.
Okay, this amendment fails. Okay, we're back now to the original resolution. Commissioner Etter, you have a question, comment? It passed? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I was thinking we were voting and had to have 11 votes. We just needed a simple majority, didn't we? All right. Pardon? Yeah,
Montgomery, something like that.
that's what I thought.
You're right.
So, okay. You see, that's what Austin said, we still have to have 11 votes to have a majority of the members.
21 members. She's not permanently
Pardon?
vacant, so.
Okay. Commissioner Miles, do you have a comment?
No, I just said, excuse me.
Okay. Mr. P said, you know, we still need 11 votes, majority. Okay. Did Ms. Milliken leave for the evening? Does anyone know? She did, okay. Okay. Pardon? Okay. All right, so it did fail. Okay, it did fail. All right, so we're back to the original resolution. Now, Commissioner Edelman, did you have a question or comment on the original resolution?
My question was that, according to Mr. Robart, there is a law that basically says if we see an animal, whether it's a dog, is this just being for dogs? Can you put a goat on a pole and let it do its thing? A horse? Okay, I think we're talking about dogs, is that right? Anyway, I was sent a piece of mail that showed a dog that was in really bad shape. I don't know what that, I can't remember what the dog's name was. But if that dog lived by me, I would be calling the law, and I would be reporting the condition of that dog. I don't see why we have to put another law on the people of Montgomery County, telling them how they have to put their dog, if it's on a stick, pole, or whatever, as long as it's being fed, watered, and has shelter. This thing of having 1 hour to do whatever, to me, you know, there's not a lot of dogs out there. I have uncles that do not live in this state that have a lot of hunting dogs, and each one of them have their house, they have a chain, they're fed every day, they let out, they go hunting, they're not aggressive. So I think that when we say all dogs, I think we're really covering an awful lot of territory, and I am not going to be voting for this particular thing, because if I see a dog that's being abused, if that's what we're discussing tonight, I'll be calling the law. And it seems to me we have teeth enough in 2005, 2007 laws that basically say if you see an animal that is abused, report it. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? Question's been called. Commissioner Miles, did you have a?
Well, I just wanted to say that on that particular dog, my understanding from the animal control meeting was that it had been reported. I think that's right, it had been reported. And animal control personnel had gone to that location. And I don't know for what reason, but later on, it was reported for the second time. And at that point, there was nothing that could be done to that dog but to euthanize it.
And that employee was disciplined, I'll say. A question's been called for on resolution 09-9-2, and this is in the original form. The resolution is in. Commissioners, please cast your votes on resolution 09-9-2 as it was presented in its original form, and I might say this was unanimously approved by the Animal Control Committee. Would any commissioner like to change their vote? Will the clerk please tally the votes?
We have 9 ayes, 1 abstention, 9 noes.
Okay, this resolution fails. Okay, Commissioner Bryant.
For what reason do you not break the vote?
It still wouldn't give it 11 votes if I cast a vote, because we have, yeah, okay. All right, we'll move on. Next resolution on our agenda, 09-9-3, resolution to accept grant funds for Phase 1 of the rehabilitation of the historic R.J. Corman Railroad Bridge over the Cumberland River. Do I have a motion to bring this to the floor? Commissioner Creek makes a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Skinner. Any discussion on this resolution? Questions? I have one commissioner who would like to comment. Commissioner Ederling.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I would like to make several comments on the railroad bridge. Concerning the painting of the railroad bridge, I think it really does need painting. In fact, I went by it today and looked it over real well. It was pretty nasty. stimulus money, grant money, free money, whatever you want to call it. It is taxpayers' money, which comes from the federal level, the state level, the city level, or the county level. It is not free money. I believe the railroad bridge needs to be painted, and the company that owns it and uses the railroad bridge needs to pay for it themselves. They should be held responsible for the upkeep of their own business, just like everyone else in Montgomery County that has a business. Are we going to give money to all the other businesses in Clarksville and Montgomery County that do not take care of their property and so forth? I can think of a whole lot more needs in Montgomery County than a painted railroad bridge. This is just phase one. How many phases will there be on this project? That's one of my questions.
It's projected to be 2 phases.
2 phases. Well, somebody told me 3, so you're saying 2 phases. Okay. And can you explain those phases, please?
That's being decided upon as we speak. Mr. Davis had a meeting today with Marsh Wagner. I'm going to let him address that. Tomorrow, I'm sorry.
It's projected to be a 2-phase program. The meeting would be with Bart Wagner, the engineers, and also with R.J. Corman. And the reason that we were going through the procedure of how we would best do this is we wanted all the engineers to converge before we finalize with TDOT, because bringing equipment to a location is an expensive proposition. We want to be sure that as you mitigate, that you leave it at a place that's logical. Like you wouldn't want to take one truss, a 3-truss bridge, and strip it, mitigate, abate it, and not be able to prime it. Or you wouldn't want to mitigate, abate, prime, and paint one section and then come back and try to do another section. And so part of the procedure of that is to see what's the most logical and cost-effective way of approaching that. What was your other question, Commissioner?
What is the total cost of this project, whether it be phase 1 or phase 2?
In this particular phase, the total project was $1,182,000. Oh, I couldn't get to my notes if I had my mind. It's $1,182,406 is 100% of that project. But what I want to point out to you, I'm not debating with you in any regard. You're completely entitled to how you feel about that project. The federal construction dollars that are dedicated through that grant award are $945,926, which is 80% of that project. Then the matching contribution was $236,480. Now of that amount, R.J. Corman is paying half. They're paying half of that, and then 1/2 of the half is being paid by the city, and 1/2 of a half is being paid by the county. So one way one might look at that is that on a 5% investment, you're getting a 95% return. And in addition to the fact that it's not just the aesthetics of the bridge, it's not just that it looks ugly and we need to paint it. It's also, if you'll recall, that over $2 million a year in commodities go over that bridge. That means jobs for people here, and the connection to from the Short Line Alliance to CSX means that industries look at us more favorably. So it's an important part of our transportation infrastructure. Also, I think I shared last week that over 3,300 carloads of materials had gone over that bridge. So it's not just a matter of the history of the bridge, the cultural importance of the bridge, how it provides, enhancement to our environment on the riverfront, but also the industrial aspect, the economic aspect, and when do you get a 95% return on your investment? And on a 5% investment. And the only other thing I would say about that is Commissioner Bryan had made a remark to you, I think last week, that if we didn't get it, someone else would have gotten it. The day that grant was awarded, the Department of Transportation across the state awarded $16,232,713 in projects across the state that they deemed worthy or important to the infrastructure of the state. So we were the 5th largest award, but we weren't the largest award, and we were one of the many awards. That may be more than you wanted, but I wanted to give you all that.
Thank you. Another question is, So if we, the county, are going to pay how much out this first
59,100.
59,000? Would that be the same amount that we put out the next phase?
Not necessarily, in the original projection, phase 2 would have been less.
Would be less.
Yes. Not substantially less, but some less.
And at this time, we do not have anybody that has signed up to do the contractual work for this proposed job?
No, it will be bid out. Now, the engineer that would be designated on it through the Rail Service Authority is Bart Wagner in Nashville. That's the engineering firm, but the work on the bridge would be bid.
And when they continue to do this and it comes back being more money than what we were told it was going to be, and then we're going to be asked to give extra money?
Well, you could be asked, but you can refuse.
Okay. Because usually that does happen. I will be voting no on this project, for this is just another way of wasting a taxpayer's money. This administration just raised taxes on its citizens, not only in the city, but Montgomery County. We raised the property taxes of the people. And we're spending money where we feel that it should be. Why are we doing this? Just because the bridge looks bad, rusty, and so on? I think you just explained that to me.
There's also the factor of mitigating the rust. You don't want all that rust going to your watts.
Right. How long has it looked like this? And why now do we want to pay out taxpayer money for a privately owned business? If the railroad bridge belongs to the county, then it would be the county's responsibility to take care of upkeep it. If it belonged to the city, I believe it would be the city's responsibility to upkeep it. It belongs to neither. We, the property owners of Clarksville, Montgomery County, along with all the citizens of the USA, are paying for this, and I believe it is wrong. And on top of that, we are going to borrow money to fix somebody else's own bridge. Thank you. And I think we owe right now $462 million. Is that correct? $390 million. 309. Thank you.
Commissioner Kendall, Commissioner Edwards, would you give her the microphone, please?
It is my understanding that R.J. Coleman is that owner, but we are allowed to use it, right? And we do profit from the use of that bridge, right? Is that not clear?
That's correct.
I just wanted to make sure that we're using somebody else's property, and I think it's only right that we share in the use of it, since we seem to benefit from it, and I hope we do at this point. And I trust that we're doing the right thing to involve ourselves and kind of pay for something that we're using without any tax on it, I suppose.
There is an initiative ongoing to improve or increase the use of rail to move goods and commodities, to get rid of or to decrease some of the tractor-trailer traffic on the highway. I'm not saying this particular bridge does that, but we do use it to move commodities and goods to Cumberland City, to the steel plant, to the gypsum plant, and to the zinc plant, and 84 Oregon's building supply. Yeah, I'm going to turn your microphone on.
84 Lumber, City Salvage, Latica, Montgomery County Farmers Co-op, Near Star, Oregon Building, Webcor, Sanderson, Security Seat, Temple Inland, TVA, Thomas Lumber, and USA. That's what I have on the office.
Okay. Okay, Commissioner Bryant wishes to speak. Commissioner Etheridge, will you pass the microphone over to Commissioner Bryant?
My comment is that I think we all know as we search for industry into the county that HSC, that was one of the factors that we have rail available. And the other companies that have viewed properties here, that has been one of the primary concerns is whether or not rail is available. So therefore, I think more and more commodities and industry is going to look at using rail due to fuel costs. Thank you.
Mr. Sutton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It was an interesting statement about the use. I'd like to get a clarification on that.
Are you saying that we use it as a county or we use it as a community?
Community, I guess you'd say, the businesses in our community.
So all those companies that you listed off that use that railroad, how much are they gonna pony up on this cost?
I'm certain they pay R.J. Corman for the use of that rail.
So R.J. Corman is charging these individuals to use that rail,
I'm not sure either, I'm just speculating.
but it is their personal property.
You know, I think that, I don't know, maybe you have a different take on it, but I think it'd be similar to a bridge that we drive our cars over on, and you're talking about rail. And that rail right now is not owned by the government, it's owned by R.J. Corman, but it's not too far away, I think, in the distant future, to think that we will have some transit rail, maybe not over the Cumberland River, but probably to Nashville from Clarksville in the distant future. I'm talking about the next 10 years, 15 years.
Well, I understand that, and, you know, rail can become very important to this community, but it doesn't overshadow the fact that that's private property. I mean, if Mr. Corman or R.J. Corman Corporation thinks it's so essential that they go ahead and get this thing painted or whatever repairs completed on it, then why haven't they done it already?
These funds are dispersed through TDOT, Tennessee Department of Transportation. They oversee the rail authorities.
But that doesn't answer the question. I mean,
Right.
if that is their bridge and it's important to this community, they should have been taking care of it. Now we're faced with federal tax dollars, state tax dollars, and community tax dollars, both on the city and county, to help pay for the cost and the renovation of the building, a bridge that doesn't even belong to us. I mean, if it's that important, it should have been taken care of.
We have been applying for this grant for 4 years now. 1 year before I came in office, and all 3 years that I've been in office, we've applied for the grant. And of course, each year, the cost of the renovation goes up. And it went up to the point that they told us we couldn't get it all funded in one phase. It would have to be split in 2 phases.
Well, who applied for this? Did R.J. Corman or did we do that?
No, we did.
It was through the Montgomery County Rail.
Right.
That's city, county, and also Corman. So what did R.J. Corman do to assist in this? There's specific comments. Thank you.
Commissioner Miles.
Thank you, Mayor Bowers. I came on the commission in 1999 and was put on the Downtown District Partnership. And the very first meeting I went to, the main discussion was that bridge. They were trying at that time to get it painted, to get something done about it because it was an eyesore. And the second thing was it was deteriorating, you know, it was going down. And I believe, I'm not certain about this, but I think efforts have been made even before that time to get something done about that bridge.